Morgan Waggoner here, ready for your wow word of wellness. And I am so excited to be here with you today and here with my friend, Mr. Dean Jacobs, for our weekly word of wellness. And y'all know me and you know how passionate I am about travel and adventure. And so our word this week is adventure. And I would love for you to just meet my friend, Mr. Dean. And would you just tell us about the word adventure and what that means to you?
Well, adventure is an awesome word. They both begin with A too, so that's a good start. Adventure for me represents living outside the box of what we know to be familiar, so we can discover new and different things about the world and also discover new and different things about ourselves. Because if we're going through the same motions all the time, we're not learning and growing, probably because we don't have a certain amount of adventure in our life, which means purposely putting ourselves into situations that are new and that are different and take us out of our comfort zone. And you know, one side of that coin is scary, and the other side is aliveness. So this is just a little reminder of how important adventure is, to have that aliveness, that energy, that discovery, that sense of something new and different in our lives. Just the magic of it and the energy that brings, and also the gratitude. So it usually gives us perspective on top of it.
Absolutely. And y'all know me, and so you know I've got this trip coming up to Costa Rica this summer and a trip to Honduras as well. And I want you to hear just what Mr. Jacobs does. Tell us, Dean, where you're headed next and where else you have been.
Well, that's a good question, Morgan. A few years ago, I quit my job and I sold my house to follow my dream, and that was to take a trip around the world. And that first trip lasted for 2 years, living on $10 to $15 a day. So we get this idea that we got to have a lot of money to travel. That's not true. You just got to be determined not to let go of that dream. That's what I'm always telling the kids. So now I've backpacked and I've traveled through 58 countries. I've lived with mountain gorillas in Rwanda for 7.5 months. I was working for the Diane Fossey people. Floated 3,000 miles down the Amazon on cargo ships and things like that. And soon I'm going to Uganda, Africa in May. I'm taking a group of students from the University of Nebraska on an enrichment journey to expand their minds and expand their hearts so they can get a different perspective of the world, and also an appreciation for what we have here. It changes everything, how we see and relate to the world. And that's pretty cool, magical stuff. So.
Absolutely. And so we're standing out here in San Diego. Dean and I have just completed a wonderful event with our dear mentor, Brendan Burchard.
He's awesome.
Yes, and y'all know, you hear about him from me all the time. So this was the coolest thing, was just getting to hang out with Dean and of course pick his brain about travel and adventure. And of course you can hear we're very kindred spirits in that way. And just listening to him talk about his next, you have this trip and then there's one coming up to the Galapagos.
Yeah, I'm taking a group of adults to the Galapagos. So people ask me all the time, because I've been leading trips for students, so I've been getting requests for adults, and so I'm starting to lead trips for adults. You should be going with this lady, this awesome lady, to Costa Rica and Honduras and wherever else that she wants to go, because she's got this beautiful heart and very committed to serving people and honoring them in their journey and using the framework of travel to take us out of what's familiar so magic can show up. So you ought to be connecting with this beautiful angel and taking those adventures abroad to enriching your lives in a way that I promise you'll never regret it.
Well, thank you for that. I did not pay him to say that, everybody. But I wanted you to meet him. And where can they find you?
Well, I have, of course, I'm like everybody, social media, which is Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, chat, Snapchat, and a website. I have a website. My website is www, of course, Dean Jacobs, all one word, DeanJacobs.org. Then my Facebook is Dean Jacobs Travel, the number 4 Life. And then my Instagram and my Twitter is Explore with Dean. You find out, or you can just Google my name, it'll show up on there. But I'd love to have you follow me on social media, because I'm never going to stop traveling until it's done. And we're not done until we're 6 foot under, kind of thing. And there's something magical. There's just something so sacred about putting yourself in new and different situations, seeing beautiful things to remind us how beautiful the world is, and then also connecting with the humanity of the world, so that we know that we're all on this blue and white and green dot going through space together, and that we're really dependent upon each other, and to honor that journey in each of us. I think it is a healthy way to do life.
So there you go, folks. My frog philosophy summed up in 10 seconds right there. Frog philosophy. So yes, and just know we're thinking about you from San Diego, California, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Abundant blessings to you. Peace out. Morgan Waggoner and Dean Jacobs.
Yeah.